Yeah, I mean, your dad dies on Christmas morning. You guys get that call. But now you're reminding me of what's going on right now with the coronavirus and the way that, say, like Governor Raimondo and others are handling it. And it's a tough thing to say. I don't even know if I'm going to articulate it well right now. But
Raimondo?
I almost think there's this over concern about death. You know, look at the way you're handling it and your perspective on it. And
Why stop people from dying from COVID when they're just gonna see Jesus afterwards anyway? Oh, my favorite part about religious people. I fucking can't, dude.
And it's a tough thing to say. I don't even know if I'm going to articulate it well right now, but I almost think there's this over concern about death. You know,
Why be concerned with death?
And I'd love to think about it more, talk about it more, about how, like, you know, the secular movement in this country versus, you know, and it's clashing with people like us, you know, say conservative.
I wonder why.
Like Republican types, okay? I don't want to make this about politics.
I wonder why we wouldn't like you guys.
And the way that we are just like, oh, look at the death count, 200,000, 250,000, and it's tough to put those numbers in perspective. I don't even know if people, when they say that a death count, like 50,000, 1 million, I don't know if people have the right perspective on what these numbers even mean.
Yeah, we don't have a good perspective of what those numbers mean. Probably because they're so large.
Take that head on and have such a religious, hopeful perspective on it. I think people can see it coming out.
You know what? God wouldn't want us to prevent people from dying. If God didn't want us all to die, he wouldn't have created a sickness in the first place. So you might as well just do nothing. I always love the amazing mental gymnastics these people play sometimes. The strange ideas they get in their mind. Religion does such wonderful things to people's brains. It's so fun, dude.
When you talk, is that so? I think that a lot as we start looking at this death count and trying to stop it, no matter what. You've had people say, our politicians elected.
How about reduce it? Is that okay? Stopping it too much, maybe reducing it. Is that a good idea to you?
Will say if it saves one death, it's worth it. And man, I mean, I don't think there could be. And this is why it's a tough thing to say, because I'm going to sit here and say not necessarily, and then that's.
Well, I wish they would say that when it came to abortion, but that's another whole.
When you're aborting a 3-week fetus, that's not killing a life. That's the difference. If you don't understand the difference between a 3-week-old fetus that doesn't have a brain or the ability to have a conscious experience between a person who's living, breathing, walking around in the world who dies of COVID, then that's a you problem, not a problem with anyone else. But whatever, mate.
Because let's get back to your dad. He was a pro-life activist.
In abortions, and knowing that this was just happening like for fun, and you know, because people just got into trouble and didn't feel like coping with it.
It's happening for fun, guys. Abortions happen for fun. There's no people do abortions for no reason, by the way.
And he said, like, he said, how can we celebrate when babies are being killed every day? And it was almost like this work is so.
9-week-old fetus, baby, by the way.
Mary made haste to Elizabeth's house. In that speech, he said she didn't ask for, you know, the news to follow her. She didn't ask to be celebrated. She didn't ask to be on social media and praised. She just went and she got work. She helped St. Elizabeth. You know,
Blessed Mother tweeting out.
She just did what she was supposed to do, and she didn't need any accolades.
Just impregnated by the Lord, by the way.
The only explanation, I know so many friends and neighbors and even family members, and I have noticed when you talk to them about, specifically, I'll stick to abortion, their eyes glaze over, and they literally become different people. Angry, and I swear their consciences are touched. Something is bothering them, and they go on the defensive. And I have said this over and over again. To me, there's nothing to explain it other than the supernatural. And I feel bad calling people I love by this, but it's quite literally demonic. And I've been reading so much, just absorbing so much. Something that I read. Everyone
who doesn't agree with me on my schizophrenic talking points is a demon, by the way. It's not because they don't think a 9-week-old fetus with no brain is the same thing as a baby. It's because Satan is whispering in their ear, telling them to, like, murder babies. That's the real reason. I fucking hate these people, dude. They're so obnoxious and childish. It's so unbelievably irritating. People on my side of the aisle get shit sometimes for not being able to understand the mindset of their opposition, and sometimes that's fair. But these people take that to a whole nother level. It's super fucking cringe.
It actually said, when we allow the Lord to leave our lives, we have this vacuum. And what happens is the demons, the devil immediately fills it. There's just no explanation.
You are Catholic.
Can I hear that again? What did she say?
It said, when we allow the Lord to leave our lives, we have this vacuum. And what happens is the demons, the devil immediately fills it.
It's really boring, vacuous, fucking vague.
I can have these conversations with you.
Religious
all day long,
person.
I think because I'm.
I don't even know if I would call it an analogy.
Me too. Me
You know,
too.
so I'm always like, what will my leftist friends? They'll roll their eyes at that when you mention demons. But you know what you just reminded me of?
Gee, why would they roll their eyes at that,
Planned Parenthood
guys?
tapes that got exposed several years ago.
Is it because I sound like a fucking lunatic?
I don't know how to pronounce the last name.
Yeah, Deladian or something like that. I think it was like a Glenn Beck interview and he tells Glenn Beck, he's
Oh,
undercover
God.
to Planned Parenthood recording everything. And this is when we found out they were selling baby parts and all, the horrors of the abortion industry.
By the way, when he says selling baby parts, he actually means fetal tissue donations to researchers and scientists. Planned Parenthood received money from researchers donating fetal tissue from aborted fetuses. And the money they received from that helped them break even, but they didn't make profits on them. You probably remember the dumbass controversy around this from 2015 when I was in fucking college. A dirtbag anti-abortion organization cut together a highly edited video of a conversation where they posed as researchers asking to get donated fetal tissue, and then edited the video to make it sound like Planned Parenthood was going to make a profit off of this, and they're going to be rolling in the dough after giving away all these baby parts. You can find the unedited footage, and they actually just sell the donated tissue to researchers and end up breaking even. Obviously, if you're some dipshit pro-lifer, then you think it's bad regardless of whether or not Planned Parenthood is making a profit off it or not, because they're selling baby parts, because that's your stupid-ass framing of the situation. But just thought I'd point out the parts of that story that were true and false there. Remember when jackass conservatives were against stem cell research too? Isn't that fun? Always fun how religious people find new and exciting ways to get in the way of scientific progress and research that could end up causing medical breakthroughs that save actual, real lives.
Said anything about this to anybody, but he wanted to tell Glenn Beck. And he said, I was face to face with the president of Planned Parenthood at some convention. And when I was speaking with her, I finally got introduced to her, and I'm recording everything, and her eyes looked at me. And those eyes knew who I was.
Looked like the eyes of the devil.
He was basically trying to say that it wasn't a person looking back at
She knew who I was. Yeah, she knew you were a fucking crazy schizophrenic person who probably she had seen rambling online about how she was a demon or something. Oh, fuck. Am I about to get some trouble here?
And those eyes knew who I was. And basically,
They knew I was the devil.
It wasn't a person looking back at me. There's a demon inside this woman who kills babies for a living.
Oh my fucking god. Dude, how can you be so infantile? I fucking hate you. The funny thing is, if you attack these people or called them assholes, they would throw such a fit about you not giving them enough charity and not understanding their position. But then they turn around and go, oh, everyone doesn't agree with that. Secret demons, guys. Secret demons. Religion is literally just geek culture for losers who don't want to admit they're geeks, you know? Everything is about angels and demons and shit. Can you fucking get over yourself? It's not quite that deep, sir. These people see themselves as very highly important. They're fighting angels and demons, cosmic forces. So self-important and sanctimonious. It's so fucking obnoxious and insufferable.
The defender of 1 million deaths a year. And he was basically saying you need to be demonic to be that involved and delve into that side of things and become active in it. And it's just something to me where a leftist would roll his eyes like demons, angels of demons. And I'm sitting there going, that makes sense to me.
It's like lampshading, right? They point out the fact that people roll their eyes at them because what they're saying is so cringeworthy. But as long as they, like, acknowledge that, then it makes it less bad or less cringeworthy because they're at least self-aware. But no, it doesn't. Just because you acknowledge that people are rolling your eyes at you doesn't mean it's, like, less called for. Like, look at this person's crazy eyes. Should I say that he has a demon living inside him?
Even if they believe in God, like, we're trying really hard to really believe in him and practice as if we truly do. You know, we're just less secular. And I think that really is it in a nutshell. You know, why we're pro-lifers in a sense.
But that is that, and that goes
Good
for
explanation.
everything that we believe when the other side questions us. I mean, you know, again, not to be too political, but just a quick, you know, little story or little thing. Look at the elections, all of this fraud, and we are showing them videos, and we are
Fraud!
just like David did, showing these videos, and they are denying it. There is no other explanation.
Wait, when was
they
this?
Are liars, they're thieves,
Oh, 1 year ago, yeah.
they're cheaters, and it's absolutely demonic. I want to explain something to people out there just real quick, because as a Spanish teacher, I did a lot of research.
The elections
I
are
just love
demonic
teaching my
now,
classes,
guys.
high school classes. It is, again, you don't want to, the other side doesn't want to think of themselves as demons, and all this supernatural stuff sounds absolutely out there.
And you don't want to think of yourselves as schizos, yet here we are.
Read about the Our Lady of Fatima visiting and the Blessed Mother talking to us about what's going to happen and how it's all coming to fruition. You can't but, help but agree that this is what's happening. If you were
I've never felt more embarrassed to have been born into a religion, into the same religion as these people. Every fucking year that goes by, I get more and more. I know I'm gonna piss my own family off by saying this, but I get more and more proud of 7th grade me for saying, "Wow, I can't realize how arrogant it is to believe that I was like born into this like." The one true religion where like I'm worshiping the right God, everyone else is worshiping the wrong God, and we know all the answers to all the moral questions, and we have the right book that was written 2,000 years ago. Wow, this is all really stupid. I'm gonna stop believing in this. I'm just saying I've never been more proud and happy of 7th grade me.
The other person I want to mention too is Father Richard Heilman.
These people are embarrassing.
A wonderful priest exorcist on from time to time. That's another whole story we could talk about later. But
I want to do a show on exorcisms. If you,
oh my gosh,
I'm fascinated by it. Yeah.
In fact, I want Tyler to add him.
These people do sound like they're like really fascinated by exorcisms. Again, I'm gonna say it for a third time. Religion is fucking geekdom for people who don't want to be geeks.
Has these, I listened to it, right after the election happened, he had, and I forget the priest name, and I feel terrible, but in fact, there's a prayer I pray every day that he gave us against, the demons who are infesting our election and our system. So
I see some demons right there.
I'll get in touch with him, but again, I've just been so into this lately. But if you know anything about the Aztecs, you know that they actually sacrificed to their gods. They sacrificed people, but especially children, young children. And what they would actually do would be literally rip their hearts out and drink their blood and all that stuff, or offer their sacrifice of the children. And that reminds me so much of what's happening now. Well,
what?
Diego, when the Blessed Mother appeared to him and he set up this church, it was from that point on, and you can still see her mantle in Mexico City. I've actually seen it. I've actually visited it in the glass. But from that point on, when they built the church, the bishop finally allowed San Juan to build the church.
God damn it.
The Aztecs started converting to Catholicism, and all of that death and sacrifice of children and other innocent people went away. And then Mexico became one of the most Catholic countries.
Raise mask, please. Raise mask, please.
And it always reminds me of, people will say, "Oh, that's so dramatic. We're not sacrificing children." We absolutely are. And anyone, every single human being on Earth, especially United States voters, should watch an abortion.
I wanted you to finish raising it, bud.
What's actually taking place when babies are aborted at any stage, and especially as they get older and they're able to be pulled apart and all.
No, it wasn't.
If that's what you're voting for, then you need to be honest.
So what color Meg is it?
It's not shrouded. It's only like a purple Meg or something, bro.
Nice.
Anyone, every single human being on Earth, especially United States voters, should watch an abortion, as gory as that sounds, and see what's actually taking place when babies are aborted at any stage.
Oh, an abortion looks gory. That means it's horrible, right?
That's what you're voting for.
Yo, if a gross, like, bloody medical procedure looks bad, that makes it morally bad, right, guys? These people are so fucking stupid and brain dead. I hate them. Oh, why can't you watch an abortion? No.
Then you need to be honest about it. But the problem is, most of us have our heads in the sand. It's not happening to us. Nobody we know is getting one that we know of, and it is
What? Really? Are you sure?
literally child sacrifice.
Yeah,
So
we've seen what happens. Going back
Literally
again, we've seen-
child
I've said this before.
sacrifice,
What happens when you
guys.
Hold up a picture of an abortion. And it's a great strategy. Picture is the truth. Videos, pictures. We've seen what happens. We've seen
Pictures
so
of
many,
truth.
Say pro-choice activists walk by these images and ravage them, take them, steal them, smash them, and you're looking at a perfectly normal-looking human being just freak out at the image of truth. And
Yeah, we've never seen these people freak out, by the way.
Megan Reilly, who spoke at the town council and I believe the school committee meeting about freezing the budget. But okay, I'm sorry, parents did.
Hold on. We have one person at the microphone at a time. If someone has a problem with what somebody has to say, excuse me. This person has a right to speak right now. Excuse me. If you continue to
in control of their own person. And freaking out at something as simple.
Not control of their own person. You mean like Megan Reilly screeching at Kathleen for criticizing her at a school committee meeting for all the shit talking she did of all the elected officials? Well, hold on. I need to rephrase that because it's not. The problem isn't that she was shit talking elected officials. The problem is that the reason she was doing so were bullshit. And Kathleen went up to criticize her for that. And then in the middle of her speech, Megan Reilly's like screaming at her. And then the fucking guy had to stop the meeting. so that, and say that he was gonna ask Megan Reilly to leave so that he could allow the one person to speak. It's like if Tiffany McLeod went up and said, "Oh well, Jonathan Carney is going up to speak here, but he doesn't live here. He lives in Bristol." If she said that during her comments, and then like, and then randomly I stood up in the crowd and started yelling at her, "Oh, keep my name out your mouth! Keep my name out your mouth!" It doesn't make any sense.
For botched abortions, okay, and they were being left on the table. I remember clearly this one person's story was they put this baby in an empty room. I think it was even a hospital setting. It wasn't just an abortion clinic. And they turned the air down. They turned the heat down all the way, and they left the baby on one of those metal gurney things.
They left a first trimester fetus on a table. That there was their way of killing the fetus, but she's calling it a baby. She's trying to invoke the imagery of a literal baby, but that's not actually what's fucking happening. They're talking about like a fetus that, depending on how early on they do this, it doesn't have a fucking brain. She's leaving some shit out of this story.
Entirely wrong is their perspective on history is that we are always progressing towards something better, and they have no religious outlook really that is that we can revert back and become the monsters that we read about. But for some reason they think like, oh, I wouldn't have been one of those people going.
You people are literally the people who are usually trying to get us to revert back into monsters and savages. By the way, in case you didn't know that.
Nazi Germany. I wouldn't have been the one screaming crucify him. They look at history
Nazi
as on a timeline
Germany?
of progress, progressives, and then that the people that are stopping them from doing the
Hey,
last thing
with all,
to utopia are people like
bro, you guys might be pro-Israel in a political sense, but with all the anti-Semitism that comes out of your guys' wing of U.S. politics, I wouldn't be talking too much about Nazi Germany, by the way. Be careful about that, mate.
us. Sorry, Megan. And that utopia vision is so important that they're willing to do almost anything to stop us from stopping them. And usually that comes in the form nowadays of political correctness, really smearing your opponents. You see what's going on college campuses and even the culture of just...
Who are you guys I'm sorry, this guy wasn't involved in the fucking letterbox shit. I was about to say, who the fuck are you guys to talk about fucking smearing opponents? Shut the fuck up.
Media stopping people that are in the way of that progress from even talking. You recognize that as well?
Oh, absolutely. And something else I just started to think about. Think also of what they worship or what.
Excuse me?
They don't want to have kids, but now instead they have pets, and their pets become.
What's worshipping? Ah, yes, my god emperor, Leaf, the kitty. I worship the kitten. This is why they don't want cats in schools. They're afraid we're gonna worship cat gods. Also, progressive liberal people get to have kids too, right? That's something we're cool with. This 70 IQ straw man that they've constructed of their opposition, where their opposition's like against having kids at all in any capacity, is so fucking stupid.
Their children, right? And I'm talking like people go crazy. The amount of money they spend on their pets, what they do for their pets. Their pets.
Pets are expensive, dog.
Dog. But then I also think about,
What do you think?
This is where my dad and I always struggled.
Did you not know that? You have cat. The lady had a cat in the background. She knows how expensive a cat is. What the fuck is she rambling about right now? I'm so lost. What is she on about?
I had to work on this. I know he and I had the same.
Are those guys dead yet?
About coming across like we're better than everybody, but that's not it at all. But when I see people in the morning getting up at 5 a.m.
Oh, we're not trying to come off as if we're better than everyone else. Dog, you literally called everyone that disagrees with you demons. Shut the fuck up. With this fake humility now. This fake humbleness now. Go fuck yourself.
To go to yoga class or take their kids to a sport, but then make an excuse why they can't get to church. Think about what they worship. They worship exercise, and
Are you against exercise? You're against sport? I thought these conservative mom types were really into youth sports. Now they don't like it because it's getting in the way of church. Like what is this conversation? Where are we going with this? I'm so lost right now.
They try to find other spiritual ways to fill that what they're looking for. That void.
Other ways to enjoy their life other than mutter nice things about a big guy with a beard in the sky that they only believe because their mommy and daddy told them to believe in it when they were fucking being raised. Wow, how could they?
In their life, and they'll self-admit it, right? We're not happy, or this helps us be happier. And they make fun of people like us.
You know why? You know how the lefty liberal people are lost? They think doing sports and having recreational activity makes you happy. They want you to be happy and do the things in life that make you happy. How crazy is that, guys? These are the things they worship. Yes, you know, she's not really wrong, though. As a kid, I did worship North Kingstown cross country. Everything's about, it can't just be like, oh, people like sports. The secular people, they all worship sports. What are you talking about? What the fuck is wrong with you? Why is this the only lens you view the world through? Why do you have to shove every fucking issue into the narrowly conceived fucking notion of your fucking religion? I don't understand how you could be this obtuse and dense. This is so fucking... It's insufferable.
And getting back to, mocking the Christians, but guess what? They're reinventing the wheel. They're not progressing. Go back to the basics. Guess what? Get God in your life.
Get God in your life.
Try it. How about just try it? Give yourself 6 months, right? Before you knock it.
I tried it for a long time, mate. I left it for a reason.
And no skin off anyone's back.
I keep converting.
No skin off everyone's back? Wait, what did she say?
How about just try it? Give yourself 6 months, right? Before you
Don't knock it till you try it, guys. Just start worshiping Jesus.
knock it. Don't knock it before you try it. And guess what? If then I'm wrong, I'm wrong. And no
I highly doubt that you think if you're wrong, and no skin off anyone's back. That's not your viewpoint of this at all. But you can pretend like that's the case if you want, really.
Like, did your dad influence you when you were a child, or are you just trying to make your dad proud today?
Both. But no, it was all my father. And as an aside, of course, we're not talking about mothers, but my mother is actually, she was a nun for 10 years. So as you can imagine, the two of them made a great pair.
Gee, I wonder how this person came to be so religious.
I didn't realize that. That's great.
Yes, yeah. And she left. And in fact, she when she left a little while
wow,
later,
these guys are discovering in real time that religion comes, that people become religious because their parents are religious. Wow, what an amazing discovery you've made.
Your dad?
The judge that he was arguing in front of was pro-choice and had wanted nothing to do with the pro-life side, but felt just as a human being that she was, I believe, 5 months pregnant and felt it was too late for her to have an abortion at that time. So my dad...
Wow. It's almost as if pro-choice people aren't all demons who want to kill babies. That they see the nuance and issues of, oh, here it's too late. Oh, here it makes sense. Very interesting how now we're able to perceive the nuance. It's funny how that works, isn't it?
Newfound respect for pro-life activists, because for all the heat they get and the way people look down at them and disparage
Deservedly.
them, they're doing something that, of all the things you could be active about in the world, be an activist for, they're literally saving lives. They're out there, a thankless protest.
Saving fetuses, saving lives. There you go.
And the end result is a life saved, and they get
not really.
For it. And so it was just a moment where it's like, yeah, these people are heroes, that are out there on the sidewalk or doing other work in the pro-life movement.
Well, and
I'm a hero.
You give the abortion debate just a second of thought, and there's always the backwards in time argument, like, okay, the child is born outside the womb, can you kill it? No reasonable person would say yes.
If it's born outside the womb, what is he referring to, and what stage of development is he referring to? Does it have a brain? Does it have the ability for a conscious experience? The answer is no. Fucking kill it. It's not a separate human life yet. If it does, then don't kill it. Really it is actually a pretty easy fucking case. It's just people's fucking emotions get tied in because dumbasses like this say, oh, look how gory it is. Oh, it looks like a baby. That must mean it is a baby. And then they fucking derail the conversation, but it's whatever, man.
Except for nowadays demonic governors of Virginia who actually would.
Demonic governors of Virginia.
But
what about our own governor?
I know. Yeah, I know. The 9-month thing. But yeah.
Fucking LARPers can't stop talking about demons.
Just outside the womb. So 10 minutes before
really
that,
pathetic,
before
honestly.
The point is that this thing that you called a clump of cells for decades becomes just like you and me, and then you get into human rights and all.
Okay. Excuse me for the dumbass straw man here. It's a clump of cells in the early stages, but there's a stage between clump of cells and human baby where it's becoming more complex and it's becoming more baby-like, but it's not conscious yet. Dismissing the pro-choice argument as, oh, well, it's just a clump of cells is really fucking stupid and brainless. Is there any brain at all behind that distinguished, grand forehead of his? I don't know.
Same thing with my other ones and with my daughter, because I was so worried. My last one, I was so worried about what had happened.
She's not making any point right now.
Weeks, I went and I actually was able to hear her heartbeat. I made an appointment. So
ooh, the heartbeat. Yes, everyone's favorite. The heartbeat. If you're a heartbeat, that means you're a human life. Very intelligent fucking barometer to use, by the way.
And I always find it ridiculous. And I question people. I challenge them. Okay, fine. You say it's okay to have an abortion from 0 to 3 months. At exactly what day does the baby then turn into a human being so that abortion is wrong?
The progression argument.
Oh, wow, yes. Because it's hard to give a specific answer, that means there's no truthful answer at all. What is this? I think it's called Loki's Wager. Just because it's hard to say specifically what fucking day it is, that means that there's no truthful answer that isn't fucking 0 days. It's so stupid. Hey, all we have to do to be smart is to give a safe answer. Hey, around 20 weeks, this is the earliest where it's possible for the baby to have developed the parts in their brain to be able to have a conscious experience. It could be later than that, but that's the earliest point where it's possible. So let's set the barometer there so that you can't do it after that point, but you can do it before. Wouldn't that be nice if we could just have a smart fucking conversation and like intelligent decision like that? Without having to act like fucking idiots who think that a fucking fertilized egg is a fucking child? That you're killing a fucking human being? Wouldn't it be nice if we didn't have to talk like fucking morons? Well, it's just so hard. But you can't find out what day is it? What day is it? I want to know. What day? So stupid.
I've never heard a good answer to it.
There's no answer because it's ridiculous.
I just gave you an answer.
You know, some like good people are arguing. We are always developing as humans. I mean, we're different now than we were 10 years ago.
We're always developing. You know, like how a child develops into an adult. You know how like a fucking fertilized egg develops into a fetus. These two things are the same, right?
People say you're a clump of cells, and so am I. You know, we're all clumps of cells. There's one. Tyler's really good. I mean, he's.
Hear that, guys? Technically, you're still a clump of cells now. A human adult is a clump of cells in the same way that a fertilized egg is a clump of cells. Very, very honest, ingenuous, good faith point he just made.
Really mastered the pro-life stuff. But
you sure have mastered it, sure.
Your essay was excellent. You were kind of like his devotion to your mom. He left flowers for your mom on Valentine's Day after he had died. Had that delivery all set up.
Yes.
It was just one of those essays in the book that we always talk about out of the 23 that are in there.
No, I gotta steal that idea. That's a good one.
Really, thanks for your time.
Hope I remember that in 50 years.
Because I feel like it's just because parents are good Catholics doesn't mean their children are going to turn out that way. And I did mention that in the book. I said at one point, you know, my father knew that he was trying to do all the right things, but we have many friends and family members who are devout Catholics, and their children fall away from the church for whatever reason.
For whatever reason.
Really a strong Catholic.
Not because his religion is ridiculous.
But faith stopped with you. If after all of those thousands of years you did not pass that faith on, my father always used to ask, because he's Irish.
That's my dream, by the way.
Irish ancestors.
What if her generation was the last super religious generation?
That's amazing because that is the thesis of the book. I mean,
I would love to see that day, man.
2,000 years, and you like
watching these people talk makes me yearn more and more for the day that I see religion just quietly, silently drop off the face of the earth. Nothing would make me happier. They say that some atheist people, as they get older and mature, they get less bitter and less, like, aggressive against religious people. I just see it as a kind of, you know, bland difference of opinion. Not me. The older I get, the more I don't like religion at all. It's been going the opposite way for me ever since.
I say all you have to do is talk to God. Just talk to. He just wants to know you're there and you're opening your life to let him in. Because we have free will, and without letting him in, he's gonna knock at the door, but he's not gonna intrude.
Was he a vampire? He's being invited in?
Erasing of the religion.
Beetlejuice? What is he?
Look at this man, your father, and how humble he was. I mean, imagine that's the humility. You can contrast that with the attitude of today. That you're going to stop 2,000 years of tradition right here because you're so smart. You know?
That doesn't make us arrogant. What would make us arrogant is believing that because our fathers, mothers, ancestors, because they all told us to believe in a religion, that means that that's the one true religion, and that we're the side who's right. And that we're the moral majority and all this nonsense, that's called arrogance. That's not humility. I can't speak to the, like, I'm not like talking down on her father specifically. I'm talking down on them, by the way, because they're the ones who are framing this about arrogance versus humility. It's not, oh, I, the singular person, I'm gonna stop 2,000 years of tradition. It's a majority of people, thousands, hundreds of thousands of people leaving religion. Many people in my generation not really being part of religion in general. Just because something's a tradition doesn't make it good. What a stupid fucking framing to shove this issue into. There were a lot of traditions we had in the old days that, believe it or not, were bad. To just frame it as a tradition and then call the other side arrogant for wanting to leave that tradition doesn't make you smart. It doesn't make you humble. It makes you an idiot. It makes you kind of a jackass. You're pretending to be humble, but you're not at all.
Even the bad things people do, you know, no, what is it? No press is bad press or something. They just want to, you know, gosh, look at all the selfies and the
Selfie. How we're making this about selfies right
YouTube
now.
channels where like, just look at me.
YouTube channel, bro. You're on a YouTube channel. You contributed to a book. You're on here because you contributed to a book where you talked about your dad, and you. You're literally doing the thing that you're making fun of right now. Who do you think you're fooling?
Dying for attention, but just I say go.
Oh yeah, this lady doesn't seem like someone who's dying for attention at all, by the way.
To your bedroom and say a couple prayers, learn the rosary, talk to God if you want attention.
Oh my God, talk to God if you want attention, guys. Don't take selfies.
So, yes, all these people in this book that I read, all these fathers, that's what stood out to me. Their humility. They were giant men, right? They were tough guys. They were hard workers.
Tough guys. I'm a tough guy. I'm Catholic.
Thousands of toys that they have, and then I contrast it to these men who would get up in the middle of the morning. It was freezing cold, or middle of the night freezing cold, and they would just go to work.
What about toys? Wait, what?
That's something that I think I've finally pretty much gotten over it because I know I'm in the right. I know that the Catholic Church is on the right side of history, but for the longest time, I really cared about.
I know I'm in the right. I'm humble, by the way.
It's a little embarrassing. I always was taught to bless yourself when you pass a church, but if I'm in the car with people, my neighbors or something, I'm kind of like, or I'll be at the gym and I'll be on the treadmill saying my rosary, but I'm always afraid to go like this.
Wait, why are you on the? Wait, why are you doing this on the treadmill, mate? Is this your way of like distracting yourself from the exercise? Who's worshiping exercise now? Why is she on the treadmill running, going? Who's worshiping exercise now? Imagine you're in the gym and you see this person and you're watching them and you just see them go like fucking doing fucking signs of the cross while fucking doing their workout.
Because it brought the pro-life angle. I think it was the only one that had the pro-life angle in it. It's very dramatic and entertaining to read. And you're also from Rhode Island, so I'm trying to keep good men, like a Rhode Island-centric show. You're also the first good woman on the show.
Thank you.
We've had a few guests here. The first
We don't
good
like
woman.
women here.
I don't think there's any difference
Except for
between men
you.
and
You're
women
one of the
at
good
all,
ones.
Megan.
I'm kidding.
No, these days I don't think so.
I
Only
think we gotta wrap it up.
partially.
It's over an hour now, and I'll follow up with you because I think there's more things to talk about, especially the demon show, the whole show on demons.
Oh
my God, let's talk more about demons, guys. Very pressing topic.
All right, I'll let you go. Bye-bye.
Okay, Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Ms. Reilly has decided on pursuing the professional development curriculum of Second Step. My limited research of this SEL curriculum indicates it is closely aligned with another teaching training curriculum known as Learning for Justice or Teaching Tolerance, which in my opinion is clearly focused on the insidious indoctrination of critical race theory ideology.
God.
And I should add that the professional
This
development program of
fucking
Curriculum
shit.
Teaching Justice was previously provided to the teachers of Bristol.
Oh no, not that critical race theory. It's everything about tolerance is critical race theory. That's what it means.
SEL focus detracts from teachers' time being spent on basics and constitutes a Trojan horse for the insidious indoctrination.
Insidious. Darth Sidious. Chief Palpatine is in the background, calling out critical race theory.
I urge all committee members, old and new, to do their due diligence on the matter of SEL, Second Step, and Teaching Tolerance, aka Learning for Justice.